Hey, do me a favor, log in on your iPad, see if you can hear me through my microphone or if it's just coming through the phone. Or give me your phone, I'll do it. Whatever. Comment on my live, okay? Y'all in there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Y'all in there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Comment if you can hear me. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear? Is there words? You can hear me. Is it coming through the mic or is it coming through the phone? Can you tell? I get a long ways away. Can you still hear me well? Can you still hear me well? Can you still hear me well? Oh, look at me. Looking so handsome over her. What happened? Oh my goodness. Guys, this is my favorite part of painting a house is the garage because you get to see it's an instant gratification. Not that the whole house isn't. I think it's why I like painting so much is because you get that instant, wow, that looks nice. When you're done, the client comes home and they're just almost in tears because you've changed their lives because their garage has brightened up their home. But it's my favorite part to do is the garage. It's also good side money too. You can paint garages for a couple $100 and just be there literally for 4 or 5 hours or less, knocking it out. I don't have a drop cloth long enough to do the whole garage, so I'm having to put some paper down, which is fine. It's not really a mistake. Turn a little mistake into a nice little cabin in the mountains. Put a little tree here, a little tree there. Do some Bob Rossin. We're doing some Bob Rossin over here. Rest in peace. I'll tell you who does good painting in town is Jeremiah Gavinia. He does a lot of painting here in town. Jamie McCabe. You're going to see the transformation right before your eyes. It's a beautiful home. Just making it prettier. Most of y'all know where we live, across the street from Tractor Supply. So you can cruise over and see the updates. One thing I want to do before I leave is I really want to put cedar shutters on this house. I just don't know if I'll have time before the military takes me into custody. So, but I think this house would look really nice with cedar shutters. Hey Jeremiah, I can do my cedar shutters for cost. All right. You guys get to watch me prep. Did you know that there's different spray tips for different reasons? Because I use a spray gun, and the spray tips all mean something. I had to buy a whole new setup, though, for our cabinets that we painted. I had to get the fine mist. So, a little bit of an unexpected expense, but not horrible. Not horrible at all. Happy little mistake. And yes, that is a Hellcat engine in my garage if anybody wants to buy it. They won't let me take it to Germany, so I gotta store it or sell it. My favorite part of doing a house is always the garage. When I first started painting on my own years ago, I would try to just do garages because it was such a quick turnaround. You know, you charge, I don't know, maybe $300 for a garage, and then add another $150 if it's a double car garage. That way you're already there, already got the paint. It might cost another $25 if you got to buy more paint. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. So for this job, I'm actually going to use a 415, I think it is. And that spray tip means that at 12 inches away from the surface, the spray is actually 8 inches wide. I like using a wider spray tip on garage doors, so that way you're less likely to see any lines from the spray gun if your pressure is not high enough and stuff like that. Definitely love to use a wider spray tip for garage doors. Potential of a little bit of overspray because it's a wider spray, but I also use it's a little bit more of a fine tip. So the ideal is that the particles are dry in the air before they hit any other surface. Okay, there's one side. Let's go to the other side. I got my hub shirt on. The Innovation Hub, when I was going to Texas Tech a few years ago. The Innovation Hub is out there on 4th Street, and it allows you to bring your ideas, and you can actually, they have a couple of weekends a year where you can build teams and groups, and you can show your idea, your business idea, and they vote on it. Everyone there votes on it and decides if your idea is viable. Doesn't mean that it could never work in society, just for that campaign. And then they partner you up with teams, and you can interview people right there on the spot. I got picked up to be the spokesperson for car parks. Car parks was a really cool deal, actually. Todd Truesdale, that's how you say it. He is the co-owner of Lubbock Turf Guys. And he had a great idea where you could use empty parking lots to set up places to sell your car. But it would be for profit for the parking lot owner, and for car parks, obviously, would set up QR codes where you could scan and find out more information on the car you're looking at. And it would give well-lit areas instead of just like Facebook Marketplace where you meet in the back alley of a Walmart and you're doing deals. I mean, I don't do that anymore, but you know what I mean. And I got selected to be the spokesperson for that. It really went well. I really enjoyed that. It probably could have been something that went further, but all of our lives kind of went a different direction, and so we just X'd it out. Now, my idea, though, I had a great idea. my ideal at the Innovation Hub was, what did I call it? Um, Purdy mulch. I called it Purdy mulch, like make it look pretty. So I called it Purdy mulch, and Ace Hardware and other places sell a mulch dye. You can actually buy a dye to recolor your mulch. So mulch has like a 3 to 5 year, well, I might be being kind with that, more like a 2 to 4 year life out in your grass or out in your yard. Depending on where you live, we live in a very dry, arid climate, so it might last a little bit longer, but it loses color. So a lot of that stuff has a color on it, a dye, and the dye just washes away or fades away. But you can actually go to Ace Hardware and other places, and you can purchase dye to dye your mulch. Well, I wanted to literally make vats of it up on a trailer and drive around Lubbock and wherever else. A lot of these places, they don't have a lot of yard, but they have mulch and they got decorations. And so drive around, and for like, I don't know, $200, a fraction of the cost of actually replacing the mulch every year, you could dye the mulch, re-dye the mulch. And I thought it was a pretty good idea. And I probably would have done it if I had stayed a contractor or done it mostly in the summer as a teacher. But wouldn't have been a bad gig. Have a couple trucks riding around town saying Purdy mulch. You pay me a fraction of the cost, and next thing you know, you come home from work and you've got a brand new, pretty yard. And the neighbors are envious because they're out there on the weekends spending a couple $100 on mulch and having to dig things out and relay stuff down. But anyways, I'm not going to tape off the top. I've got to do touch up there anyway. And because I'm kind of in a vortex here, when I spray, it just gets caught. So I'm going to have overspray on the brick a little bit anyway, but I will use my shield, and to try to block most of it, but it's okay. I got touch up to do anyway. So you can see in the corner up there where it just like gets real foggy because it has to displace the air that's already there. And so since I'm using a sprayer that's pressurized, an airless sprayer, not a compressor, but it's pressurized, that'll make sense. And it pushes all my paint out, but then it has to push the air out of the corners. And so it can be cumbersome sometimes and aggravating to deal with. All right, see if I'm satisfied with what I've done. Hopefully that won't come loose whenever I go ready to spray. If it does, my shield will be up there too. Always redundancy. We're going to redundantly protect this, so I'll have the paper as well as my shield. All right, again, Hellcat engine for sale right there. Right there, all it needs is a blower. Well, you know, and the other parts that go in your car. I'm going to shut the garage door. Beep, 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 beep. So I almost left this magnet on there, and I'm like, I'll just leave the magnet on there, and then when you peel it off, I don't know. All right, so my natural flow is going to be from right to left, but I think what I'll do is for the video, I think I'll go from left to right, just so it looks nice. Now, again, I'm using a 4. The 4 is a 4-inch spray at 6 inches, but ideally you're 12 inches away from your painting surface. So it's a 8-inch spray. It'll be an 8-inch spray at 12 inches away. And the 13 is the diameter of the hole. It is like 0.013 of a hole. I don't even know how to say that. It's so of an inch, 0.013 of an inch. That's how small the hole is on the spray tip. And that's how much paint is allowed to get through. So I have a 517 also that I use for really big roofs and really big jobs. It puts out quite a bit of spray. But I'm using a 413 here. I didn't want to use a 3. I use a 3 for these tight spots, so that way there's not a lot of overspray. But my 3 would have a more narrow spray to it, and I didn't really want to deal with it. And I didn't want to deal with it building up, is what I didn't want to deal with. I don't know why I'm going Facebook Live. I never do this, but I got to thinking, I guess reality's setting in, you know? Like I'm about to leave. I'm about to be property of the U.S. government, you know, specifically the Army. So I'm like, maybe a lot of people I won't be able to talk to that I like talking to, and I'm going to miss conversation because I'm a social butterfly. I'm really going to miss all that. So I don't know. I guess I'm just filling my oats right now and painting. Just letting y'all watch me paint, you know. So let's go. Let's get to work. These spray tips from Graco are fantastic. You can actually reverse them. They're rack tips, means reversing clean. You can turn the tip around in the gun. It'll blow out the backside, allowing any debris to go through the larger hole. Oh yeah, I like that. That's nice. That's covering really well. Really well. The goal is to not have to go back and do touch-up or to use a brush. I'm going to have to do some touch-up, though, just because of overspraying. It's a little windy. It's not horrible. It's not West Texas wind, but it is wind. A little corner right there is going to be aggravating. Trying to displace all that air. Looks like my tip has got some junk in it. Clear my tip out. There we go. I feel better about that. I'm going to go ahead and do the whole top just so I can be done with it and not have to hold my shield up anymore once I'm done with it. It's real easy to get buildup. Now, I have had some issues where I had some runs or some tough spots on the garage door. What I did was wait for it to dry, go back with a 120, then a 220 sanding grit block, just a sanding block, and you can eliminate the raise or the high spot. Cleans it up pretty nice. Then you go back with a weenie roller or a close nat roller, so that way you don't see the roll marks. You don't really want an orange pill texture on your garage door. I mean, I don't, but you might. That's going on really nice. I'm glad I switched to the 413 instead of using the 311 or the 315. My 311 was giving me problems anyways. It's probably old, and so the more you use it, you're forcing material through the end of the tip, and so it literally wears the tip out, makes it wider. So because of that, you end up getting more paint out than you planned or anticipated. I don't like starting and stopping the gun because it actually splatters a little bit, but the tip's pretty fine, so it's not horrible. It's one of those things like, it happened, but no one else knows it happened, and it's gonna be okay. Don't be such OCD about it. Which the other word for OCD is control. I know OCD is a real thing, but if you're not washing your hands 80 times a day and locking your doors 5 times, you probably just have control issues. I got OCD. I gotta make sure everything's right. That sounds like control. Oh, sorry, I forgot I was live. All right. Y'all see that? Look how pretty that is. Oh, got a paper mess. All right, looks good. Okay, let's do the big part, guys. Y'all ready? Both y'all that are watching, give me a hearts or a hands up or a thumb or something if you're... Oh, there's 8 people watching. Okay, I ain't mad. Give me a thumbs up. You want me to spray the door? Let's go. Come on, become Facebook famous. Let's do this thing. I even got my phone hooked up to the good Wi-Fi today. Y'all ready? I got to watch my angles too, because while these aren't very deep, they're kind of shallow. You still have holidays or blank spots if you're not careful. The direction you're going. Same thing with the brick. When I was painting the brick, it took I'm at 25 gallons by the time I get done with the chimneys and stuff. It wasn't bad, and I don't back roll. I've done that before, but I don't like the way that looks, and so I got to go I got to go up at an angle, down at an angle to get both top and bottom of the brick, and then I got to go sideways. So I either got to go up and down at an angle to get these crevices, or I got to go like left to right at an angle to get them. So it's a lot of paint. There's a lot of paint on this brick in this house. It's going to last a while. And people say you don't paint brick, right? You don't paint brick because it causes moisture damage, everything. Well, when the average humidity is like 12, you're good. You're good. I promise you're good. Oh, and I also recommend Sherwin-Williams Locks On paint. Fantastic paint and primer. Let's go. Look at that nice wide spray. I don't want to stop because I don't want to. This isn't spray can. You know, this isn't a backyard car paint job. You don't have to stop and shake the can. So I'm just going to keep going, and that'll eliminate any of my pops or my splatter from me stopping and starting my gun. Now you might ask, how do I get in between the panels? Well, actually, as you raise the garage door, you can paint the panel. Another way too, like where the weather stripping is on the side, you raise the garage door all the way up, and then you use like a 6-foot or 8-foot ladder on the inside of the garage, and you can just run your little weenie roller or your brush on the edges. Don't always have to paint those spots, but now there's always a fear as a painter that you're going to get a clog right about now. And then what happens is you get a big bunch of junk that just settles on the garage door. Now I'm going to stop when I get to the end here so I can turn my gun over, because I know I'm not a tall guy, but this is uncomfortable. Woo! Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Would you look at that? It's great, isn't it? I know, I love it. I should have worn a mask. I'm okay. It's going to be okay. All right, I'm just going to put that shield there to hold the paper down. That paper is very lightweight. It's great to use for overspray, but it's... Why couldn't you go to the Army? Because I got emphysema for painting my house. Okay. I'm just going to let that sit there for a second. It's beautiful. Because what I want to do is I'm going to do that bottom row down there. I'm going to flip my gun over. Can you even see it? Yeah, okay. I have my phone taped to my ladder because I don't have a tripod. Like, who does that? This is beautiful. I love the accent door. I love the accent of the garage door. I like it on top of the white. Some people will paint the trim white, but I feel like it adds depth whenever you actually paint the trim around the garage door. It adds depth. I don't know. It looks better to me. Also, I've seen some other houses around town that have this very same color scheme. They got the alabaster and they got the iron ore. But here's the deal. It looks washed out. And here's why. It's because they didn't paint the fascia, the board that's on the outside that everyone sees from the road. They don't actually paint the fascia. And so it just looks like a big white wall, and then you got roof line, and it doesn't feel like there's a nice decorative cap around the house. And so there's two of them over in a nice neighborhood where a school's at and my kids attend, and I see them all the time, and I'm like, man, just paint that fascia black. Even if you don't do the soffit or the that's the soffit, and that's the fascia. The fascia is the outside board behind your gutters and stuff. Anyway, it looks so much better to me whenever you actually paint the fascia a nice, pretty trim color. All right, let's go. So I usually use a Sherwin-Williams A100. Sherwin-Williams A100 is a fantastic exterior paint. I've used it for tons and tons of jobs, hundreds of gallons. I'm not so sure I use thousands, but hundreds of gallons. And I use a ProMar 400 for the inside. It usually has the best price, but it's a really nice paint. And so the A100 though is great. I actually painted a Taco Bell one time, and I used all A100 paint on it in Dumas, Texas. Me and another guy. Anyway, so the A100, but I ran out of A100. So we painted our lower cabinets the same color, like to do the contrast in the dark cabinets, light cabinets. Thank you, Scott. And I was like, okay, can I use this cabinet paint as an exterior paint? Because I ran out of my exterior paint. I don't want to buy cabinet paint and buy exterior paint and have a couple gallons of each left. So they're like, yeah, absolutely. Because if you look at the can, the actual the solo paint for cabinets is an interior exterior paint. It's a wood adhering paint, so it works great for the fascia and the soffit, and it also works good on these doors. So this is a steel door. This isn't aluminum because that magnet sticks to it, so I know it's a steel door. But okay, let's let that settle for just a second. There's always one concern. Now, I do not leave the garage door shut after I paint it. I have to raise it, and here's why. Because if you leave it shut, the weather stripping, since I did paint the whole thing, the weather guard will stick to the paint, and it could tear it. It's only happened a couple times, itty small spots, and I was able to fix it, no big deal. But if you just open the door and let it dry with it open, it's something you don't have to worry about then. Y'all give me some hearts, give me some thumbs up. Let's go. Facebook famous. Y'all ready for coat number 2? Some doors I'll go up and down, but this door, it's taking the paint really well with my 413. So I'm just going to go for it. Let's go. I am angling my gun in a slightly different direction though. Oh, got kind of low there. Does it need a second coat? Actually, it doesn't. It sprayed and went on really well the first time. But I got a little extra paint, and I want this to last whoever buys this house, or God forbid I break a leg in basic training, and I got to come back and live here, I'm going to know I did it right. See my spray? See how far that spans out? That fan gets really wide, and this is a really fine mist too, that 413. Woo! That noise means my paint's running out. I'm towards the end of the job, and I'm running out of paint. It's usually how it works. Because I ain't good with the numbers, but I usually don't buy too much paint. All right, where was I? I think I was here. Let's go. What do you guys think? You think this garage door will sell the house? You can't even see it from the road, so it's not really a selling point. Man, it looks nice. It just looks nice. I'm pretty proud right now because, you know, there were 0 issues with that gun except the paint just ran out, but that's awesome. That's awesome. We're looking at about 2 and a piece gallons for spraying all this overhead. And the garage door. So if I was just doing the garage door, I could really do that with a gallon of paint. I could definitely do it with a gallon of paint. But anyways, okay, well, looks like my viewership's going down. You guys have been instantly gratified, so now you're like, I'm done watching you, buddy. Okay. This is my favorite part of painting a house. Maybe you can see why. My favorite part. I love it. The garage door, instant gratification. Couple things I do is I go ahead and take down all the tape. I do not let the tape sit because even though it's painter's tape, it will almost inevitably cause a paper tear or a tape tear or a paint tear is what I'm trying to say if you don't take it off. So a little bit of overspray just because of the wind, and see it's already starting to cause a little bit of glue. Easy breezy, easy fix. What I'll do when I'm done, after it's dried, I don't want to mess with it right now. But when I'm done with it, I will actually take my brush and I'll just run a nice line. You see that right there? That's that caulk. I'll put some caulk on there. I'll fix any imperfections with my brush. I'll run a nice line right down the edge with the black. And since I have to touch up the white anyway later on, if I don't like what I see, I'll just come back with the white, and then it'll be nice and clean. Spraying that top part wasn't too bad. I actually didn't get very much overspray at all on that brick. I'm pretty proud. Pretty excited. All right, next, I'll be painting chimneys. I don't think anybody cares to. Yeah, Uncle Clark, I got you. You know, if I was close to Uncle Clark, I got you. You know that. Well, next is painting chimneys. And we paint chimneys even when nobody sees them. Always got to paint chimneys. And then I'll do cabinets. We got to do the uppers. Gina's working on refacing them. Gina just started her master's class today, too. She's going through Governor's Western University, where you pay as you go. And she just started it today. And so I don't know if the doors are going to get done or not. They might get done. I'm going to help. Because I want her to get her master's degree. Because she can get paid a lot more money teaching for DOTE, Department of Defense Education, if she's got her master's. So anyways, this will be on Facebook. You're welcome to watch it and hear my little insights about spray gun tips and clogging and fixing clogs. And it's my favorite part. I love it. Like, I would just paint garage doors all day long. If I could just paint garage doors all day long, I would. Awesome. This right here, this garage door you're looking at, I charge a customer $425 for a double garage, and that's with me buying the paint. I buy the paint, Sherwin-Williams. Love Sherwin-Williams paint. I've used other paint, but, anyways. Doesn't it look nice? Come on, tell me it looks nice. Go ahead. You can say it with an emoji or something, or you can say thumbs up or a heart. That looks nice. So I sprayed all that this morning up top there. I got my phone hooked to my ladder, so that's why it's so mobile. Anyways, there's that. Hope you like my garage door painting. Nothing like you see on regular Facebook. This is professional right here, guys. This is professional. Get your little side hustle painting garage doors. Don't use your brush. Use a sprayer. It's worth it. Y'all want to watch me paint my chimneys? Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Love y'all.